All right. Now, let's quickly talk about the anthem. Now, I don't understand why today was the day for this to be discussed. I think it's a little bit in bad taste in and around Remembrance Day. And, of course, thank you to everyone who has served our country and continues to serve our country and all of the families affected by service. But the New South Wales Premier was either asked or offered up the idea that we need to change the young and free to one and free in the national anthem. Here is her explanation as to why that's what we need to do.
Whether it's our elite athletes or whether it's anyone with a proud Indigenous history to feel part of our anthem. And I think the word change will make a difference. It will acknowledge the fact that our continent has had the longest continuing culture on the planet, which is something all of us should be proud of and are proud of. And I think our anthem should reflect that.
All right, quick note to politicians. Look up when you're making a point. Look up exactly what Matt Canavan does when he's saying why the word change is unnecessary.
I don't think we should be subtracting from what is a great national anthem. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with some additions to recognise additional Indigenous Australians if they were well made. I just concerned.
But how does the switch from young to one detract from anything?
Yeah, because we're a young nation. We're an old country.
And we are one.
No, hang on. No. We are an old country, but we are a young nation.
Great man, Chris Keeney, all in on the name change as well. But Pauline, look, again, these things are, I mean, this wasn't written in stone. This wasn't there from the first moment of 1901. It was something that was introduced much later than after we became a country. That said, I can't stand when the NRL was deciding, oh, well, maybe we won't sing it at all. So, I don't know, if you want to have a plebiscite on it, feel free. But what's your thoughts about the wording of the anthem?
Paul, when I call the party One Nation, I believe that we should be all a nation as one, as all Australians, regardless of your race, colour or creed, whether you're migrants come here to this nation. And I have no problem with changing the wording to one. If that will unite our nation, what's the matter, the change of the word? What difference does it make to most people? A lot of people don't even know the words to the anthem. But if it's actually going to create unity, I've got no problem with it.
Yeah, it's this thing where, look, I can feel the anger and, there you are, Paul, showing your sort of, soft lefty heart. Corey, it's not about that. It's just about saying this is not something as fundamental. Like in 2020, we have seen some fundamental things broken, right? Like we're supposed to be a country and states that are supposed to not stop people crossing borders, all right? And literally our constitution wasn't even sort of successfully tested on that front. So I understand why people reflexively go, don't screw with it, but it was only made up in the 1980s. It wasn't something that was held down from, and sung on the battlefront at Kokoda.
Yeah, it's true, Paul. It was made up about the same time, I think, as the Welcome to Country ceremony was made up by Ernie Dingo. Look, the only way we can resolve this contention over the national anthem is to return to God Save the Queen. I mean, quite honestly, it's the only thing that is going to unite us all as Australians, or God Save the King when Charles ascends to the throne. But what the other point I want to make,
tongue in cheek.
Hang on, Pauline, just let me finish. The other thing I want to point out is that Gladys Berejiklian was simply trying to stop the celebrations of one of the most significant political events that's ever occurred in the history of Australia, a great day for all Australians. And of course, that was Dismissal Day when that great man, Sir John Kerr, got rid of that spendthrift, out of control Labor government. And, this is a distraction. So God Save the Queen, Dismissal Day, God bless our diggers. I mean, it's got everything today.
Correct. Now, Corey, do you think that many modern history classes today, if this was being taught in the school, that they tell the back part of the story, where there was an election straight after it and the Australian people absolutely agreed with the removal, and then the election after? That bit always seems to be missing. But anyway, Stephen, your thoughts on whether it's young and free, one and free, and whether something like a national anthem is a little bit more flexible than the name of a state or the head of state and all how that works?
Look, I'm not fussed whether the word's changed or not. I'm not a great fan of this national anthem. I think there's other alternatives that I personally would prefer, but I don't think people should try and make that change without going to a referendum. And I think the choices that were made back in 77 or 80, whenever that referendum took place, have to bind us today. If people felt there was a better alternative anthem, then we should have a debate and have a discussion and a bit of a sing-along to see which one we think is the best.
Correct.
But I'm very relaxed about there's one word changed.
A sing-along, I like that.
Yeah, all right. Well, what about God Save the Queen? You ready for that?
Well, look, I know, as I said, dead set legend. Corey said that with a straight face. I know he was absolutely but he said it with a straight face, and he deserves a round of applause.
Yeah. If Joel Fitzgibbon could only follow the same way. Look into the camera when you say it, whether you believe it or not. Quick break. Back with